Hey people, John here from Fast Films, and today we're going to go through a 2018 drama thriller movie called The Lie. The opening scene of the movie shows the life of a young girl, Kayla, as she grows up with her father, Jay, and mother, Rebecca. Kayla can be seen having a beautiful and wonderful life as the scene fades away. The next scene opens years later with Kayla as a teenager. She's seen in the car with Rebecca and Rebecca's boyfriend, Greg. Rebecca informs Kayla that her inhaler is inside her bag in case she needs it. Minutes later, they arrive at the airport to drop off Greg. Greg kisses Rebecca and says goodbye to Kayla. Kayla returns to gesture, but secretly, she seems unhappy. After Greg's departure, Kayla asks if Jay is aware of the fact that Greg is moving in with Rebecca, but Rebecca says no. Just as Rebecca starts the engine, Kayla voices her discontent over the retreat she's planning to attend. However, her mother insists that she must be at the retreat. Soon afterward, the duo arrives at Jay's apartment. Rebecca tells Jay to drive Kayla to the retreat and make sure she isn't late. Jay offers Rebecca the chance to have breakfast at his place, but Rebecca humbly refuses. Just then, a woman comes out of Jay's apartment and Jay introduces her as Trina. Jay tells Rebecca that Trina plays cello in his band. After exchanging pleasantries, Rebecca leaves. Kayla goes to her father's car and sits down inside while waiting for him to conclude his business with Trina. Upon entering the car, Jay praises Kayla for not telling Rebecca about his affair with Trina, and the duo start their journey to the retreat venue. Moments later, the duo finds Kayla's friend, Brittany, standing at a bus stop. Kayla tells her father to stop the car. Since Brittany was going to the retreat too, Kayla suggests she rides with her and Jay. As the trio travels, Kayla notices a bruise on Brittany's face, but when she asks about it, Brittany says it's nothing. Brittany starts saying sweet things to Jay, but Kayla isn't having any of it. Shortly afterward, Brittany voices out that she has to take a piss. Jay is reluctant to pull over, but Kayla tells him to. Kayla and Brittany step out of the car into the distance so Brittany can ease herself. Minutes later, Jay realizes he hasn't heard from the duo and decides to check on them. Just then, he hears Kayla screaming and rushes over to her. He finds her sitting on the bridge's railing and quickly pulls her down. Kayla then informs Jay that she pushed Brittany down the bridge into the river below. Terrified, Jay runs down the bridge and starts looking for Brittany, but sees no sign of her except for her purse. Jay immediately runs back to the car so he can call 911, but Kayla stops him. She informs Jay that she pushed Brittany off the bridge intentionally because Brittany was acting weird to her. Upon hearing this, Jay gets heartbroken, but decides that he has to protect his daughter. He starts the car and the duo leaves the scene immediately. Shortly afterward, Jay arrives at Rebecca's office and tells her that Kayla is outside, waiting in the car. He tells Rebecca that they need to talk, but Rebecca wasn't ready to hear him say anything. She's upset that Jay couldn't complete the simple task of driving Kayla to the retreat. The duo find Kayla suffering from an asthma attack. Rebecca inquires about Kayla's inhaler, but Jay couldn't provide it. Rebecca says they have to take Kayla home because she has a spare inhaler there. Upon getting home, Rebecca receives a call from the retreat center and Rebecca informs them that Kayla is sick. Jay and Rebecca start having a conversation which comes to an abrupt end when they realize that Kayla is no more on the couch. They soon find her having a nice bath in the bathroom. Minutes later, Rebecca comes out of the bathroom looking terrified. Apparently, Kayla had informed her about the incident with Brittany. Soon afterward, Jay and Rebecca start debating on what to do about the issue. Jay suggests that they get a good lawyer, but Rebecca argues that Kayla will be tried as an adult, even though she's only 15 years old. With no conclusion on what to do, Rebecca stands up and says she is going to the river to look for Brittany, but Jay stops her. He explains that she will be dead by now. Jay tells Rebecca that they have to protect Kayla at all cost. After making sure Rebecca is on board, Jay leaves for his apartment. Rebecca then burns the clothes Kayla was wearing when the incident happened. The following day, Rebecca wakes up from a nightmare. Kayla approaches her and offers to make her some eggs for breakfast, and the duo get down to it. As they do so, Jay arrives and Rebecca says Jay is welcome to have breakfast with them. Jay and Rebecca soon leave Kayla in the kitchen to discuss outside. Rebecca expresses her surprise that Kayla is acting normal even with everything that happened. Jay then reminds Becca that there is no way they are turning Kayla over to the police. As the duo argue, they see Kayla leaving the house angrily and they drag her back into the house. Kayla starts ranting, and this makes Jay mad, who unintentionally pushes her against the wall and apologizes. He then leaves the house in anger. Later that day, Rebecca receives a visit from Brittany's father, Sam. Sam inquires about Brittany's whereabouts, but Rebecca denies knowing anything about her. Sam says he would like to speak with Kayla, but Rebecca says she is sick and won't be able to talk to Sam. Sam informs Rebecca that he had an argument with Brittany that morning and that might have been the reason she has refused to come home. Before leaving, however, Sam gives Rebecca his contact detail and asks her to call if she hears anything about Brittany. Shortly afterward, Rebecca gives Kayla the phone to call Sam, but she refuses. Jay soon arrives and Rebecca informs him of Sam's visit. Jay tells Rebecca that they have to take Kayla to a hotel so she can calm down. As the family prepares to leave the house, Sam arrives again and starts asking about Brittany's whereabouts. Sam accidentally punches Jay as he tries to get close to Kayla. Seeing that Kayla's parents are not ready to cooperate, Sam threatens to call the police and leaves. Moments later, Jay informs Rebecca that Brittany had a bruise on her face and it shows a possibility that Sam was aggressive towards Brittany. Jay tells Rebecca to talk to her friend, who is a police officer, about Brittany's father. Later on, Rebecca is seen having a discussion with her detective friend, Kenji. She tells Kenji that Brittany is missing and there's a possibility that Sam was aggressive towards her. Kenji then assures Rebecca that she will look into the matter. Back home, Kayla informs her father that she pushed Brittany off the bridge because she was jealous of her. She says all the boys have eyes for Brittany only. As the duo talk, Rebecca arrives and tells Jay that Kenji wants to have a conversation with Kayla. During the conversation, Kenji asks Kayla if Sam was being aggressive toward Brittany, and Kayla says yes. Kenji asks when was the last time Kayla saw Brittany, but she couldn't give a straightforward answer. Kayla starts stuttering, but Rebecca cuts in and tells Kenji that Brittany lives a few blocks away. She says Kayla and Brittany practically see each other every day. After the questioning, Kenji tells Rebecca that she will go over to Sam's place to ask him a few questions about Brittany. After Kenji's departure, Jay asks Kayla if Sam truly hits Brittany, and Kayla gives off a negative stare. Kayla then begs Jay to sleep over at their place, and he agrees. Later on, Rebecca helps Jay to spread some blankets on the couch so he can feel comfortable on it. The duo share an emotional moment, and Jay apologizes for not being around. Rebecca cries and says Kayla was once a happy little girl who has morphed into something else. The following day, Kenji and her partner, Barnes, pay Sam a visit. They start questioning Sam about his treatment of Brittany, but he tells them that he has never hit his child. Now at Rebecca's place, Kayla playfully wakes her father from his deep sleep and the duo have a father-daughter moment. Just then, Rebecca comes downstairs to inform them that she is going to work. Later in the day, Jay and Kayla go to Jay's place but find Jay's band, including Trina, waiting for him. Trina confronts Jay about Brittany's purse, which she found in his car, but Jay tells her that the purse belongs to Kayla. Seeing that Jay is lying to her, Trina leaves in anger. One of the band members then informed Jay that Kayla has taken off too. Soon afterward, Kenji and Barnes meet up with Rebecca to tell her that Sam checks out okay. They also inform her that Brittany's last cell phone location came from an area where Jay is leaving, but Rebecca dismisses their assumptions and leaves. Up next, Kayla is seen walking on the road when Sam parks beside her and starts questioning her about Brittany's whereabouts. Kayla runs away from Sam, but Sam follows her all the way home. Upon realizing that he can't enter Kayla's house, Sam gives up and leaves. Moments later, Rebecca arrives and sees Kayla laying down on the floor. She runs over to check if she is okay and realizes that she was just taking a nap. Just then, Jay arrives and Rebecca informs him that Brittany's phone was tracked to the street he lives on. The duo start arguing and Kayla starts crying. Rebecca hugs her, comforts her, and assures her that she is safe. Elsewhere, Kenji is seen at the bus stop where Jay picked up Brittany. Up next, Kenji and Barnes pay the family a visit. Barnes asks Jay if he or Kayla was at the Hopewell Bridge the day Brittany disappeared. Jay says he's not familiar with the bridge, let alone be there, and neither was Kayla. Barnes then brings out a note containing an email between Kayla and Brittany. The email contained threats from Kayla to Brittany because Kayla accuses Brittany of snatching her boyfriend and threatens to terminate her. Jay cuts in and says Kayla is an innocent girl. Upon realizing that Jay and Rebecca are not ready to talk, Kenji brings out Kayla's inhaler, which was found around the bridge's location. Seeing this, Rebecca gets protective and tells the detectives to leave immediately. After the detectives leave, Rebecca tells Jay that she is sure that they will come back and arrest all of them. Later that night, Jay and Rebecca drive over to Sam's house to bury Brittany's phone and purse in his backyard. Rebecca is sitting in the car when she notices that Sam is at home. She gets out of the car and calls Jay to finish up quickly. Just then, Sam shows up behind Rebecca and demands to know where his daughter is. As he starts to rough-handle Rebecca, Jay intervenes and knocks him off his feet. Jay pushes Sam's head into a puddle and is about to terminate him, but Rebecca stops him. Sam then voices out that he is aware of the fact that Kayla terminated Brittany and the duo is covering for her. Jay and Rebecca leave him and run to their car so they can escape before he calls the cops. As the duo drives away, Sam appears on the road and Rebecca intentionally runs him over. Jay and Rebecca come out of the car and Sam begs them to help him, but the duo looks away and watches as he bleeds out on the road. Upon getting home, Jay and Rebecca share the couch together for the night. The next day, Jay and Rebecca look very tired and terrified because of what they have done. The duo decides to clean off Sam's ichor on the car. As they do so, Brittany suddenly appears, alive and well, asking to speak to Kayla. Brittany admits her disappearance was no more than an elaborate ruse between her and Kayla to allow for Brittany to visit her boyfriend. Brittany becomes uncomfortable and leaves after noticing a bloody rag and their suspicious reactions. Upon hearing this, Jay and Rebecca confront their daughter, who tearfully admits that she went along with Brittany's plan, and escalates the lie by pretending to push Brittany off the bridge. Kayla says that by doing so, she hopes that the tragedy would bring her divorced parents back together. As the family embraces and Kayla begs her parents not to leave her, the doorbell rings, and incoming police sirens are heard in the distance. Thanks for watching, guys.